What up, what up, what up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you, man. Welcome back to the channel. I had to jump on here real fast to talk about the National Association of Black Journalists having Donald Trump at their convention. And one of the things I took away from it, man, is go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it. Oftentimes, guys, I look at the business of politics just like I look at the business of everything. Same thing if I do a Caitlin Clark video, if I do a Deion Sanders video, if I do any type of sports video, I look at the business of it and the logic of it. And one of the things I've learned is there's nothing productive that came out about Trump's visit to the National Association of Black Journalists. And that kind of bothers me a little bit because at some point, I'm starting to think that the black voter is becoming less and less desirable to the politicians every day. I think our community has to decide, are we going to be policy-based or are we going to be emotion-based? And I'm not saying there's not a place for emotion. I'm just saying that when you know you got an appointed time with a person, let's get to the things that matter first. And if there's time left over, we can discuss some of the things that are more emotion-based. Same thing with Kamala's concert in Atlanta. Guys, with Megan Thee Stallion. So we've had the Kamala event in Atlanta. We had the National Association of Black Journalists event in Chicago. So let's be honest, 2 black cities. And nobody's talking about policies associated with black people. We either talking about Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage, or we're talking about the ABC reporter who asked Trump the question about racism and all this kind of stuff. Now, is that good for the black voter? And the answer is no. And I don't hear anybody talking about that on any of these channels. The representation that happened for the black voter this week needs to be erased as quickly as possible. And people need to understand that every one of the black organizations, we got to get out of this who I'm trying to vote for versus who's going to give me what my policy platform is. Every other race has that. But we don't have anything in the black community that makes people want to come down and sit and talk to us about politics. Politics is a business. Politics is no longer an emotional thing. This is big business. I saw where Kamala Harris has raised $300 million. I saw where Donald Trump has raised $300 million. Well, at the end of the day, guys, why would these people come to a voter block group, which I'm a part of, by the way, if we're not talking about money? How much money did National Association of Black Journalists, whoever were the Trump supporters there, did he see a spike in donations come up because he attended? Did Kamala see a spike in donations as she attended that concert in Atlanta, right? Because that's what it comes down to. And what I've learned about this, guys, and what we can take away from this is that I'm starting to see if the black voter is being phased out every election cycle. Because we only see the politicians every 4 years, basically. There's not an ongoing thing of coming to the community. But if what happened in Atlanta, where we're talking about twerking, and if what happened in the NABJ conference, where we're talking about did somebody make racist statements or not, nobody ever got down to the business of anything. And I told you guys, when the DNC comes, I'm gonna do a video on the DNC just like I did on the top speakers at the RNC. And you just don't see a whole lot of videos about the business of politics from people who are impacted by politics. And we clip it up, we put it in sound bites, but what did it accomplish? And my concern is that the black voter is becoming less and less desirable by both parties. Because when you come and talk to them, how hard is it just to get through? You got to be able to talk business as soon as people get there. And I think that's the one thing that the black voter, no matter who you're voting for, lead with policy first and then take care of the social stuff after, because the government can't fix these social issues. But the government can fix a lot of business issues by learning what policy they can support and what regulations they can remove so that people can thrive. And that's whether you're a Democrat or Republican, guys. So when you see $300 million raised in July for both candidates, this is a business. So I don't care about all this other ancillary stuff. until we talk about the business at hand. And then once we talk about the business at hand, you're going to find out a lot of these social things don't impact you that much. If we can make sure we can afford groceries, afford gas, buy a house, borrow money to get a car, borrow money to invest, and that kind of thing to start a business. That's what we got to get into, man. Y'all get down in the comment section. Is the black voter losing the value to both political parties? Okay, because with no other race are we seeing what we saw at National Association of Black Journalists, or what we saw at Kamala's concert with Meg Thee Stallion twerking. Nobody's talking policy, man. Do y'all think the black voter is becoming less and less valuable? Is Jeff crazy, or is Jeff on to something, man? Again, get down in the comment section, man. Y'all know the routine. If you hadn't already, mash that like button. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications. And until next time, I'm gonna holler.